Welcome to this explainer. Okay, let's dive right into this. Look, if you're a QA professional stepping up into a leadership role, you might be thinking that your technical skills are all you need to get by. But today, we're going to look at something entirely different. We are looking at how mastering future tenses in English isn't just about passing some grammar test. No, it's actually the secret code to sounding like a highly confident, polished QA lead, especially in high-stakes interviews and everyday cross-functional meetings. Think of this as your leadership lexicon.
So here is our quick roadmap for today. Number 1, softening with future continuous. 2, precision, simple versus continuous. 3, intent, fixed plans versus routines. 4, outcomes using the future perfect passive. And finally, number 5, the model interview answer. Section 1, softening with future continuous.
I like to think of this tense as the diplomat. Grammatically, the future continuous is formed by using will be plus an ing verb. And here's why it's so useful. As a leader, you don't always want to sound like you're just barking orders or interrogating someone, right? This tense softens our language. It takes sentences that might sound like direct, heavy-handed demands and shifts them into polished, professional inquiries. Or it beautifully describes the natural, expected course of events in your workflow.
Let's imagine you're sitting in an interview, asking something like, "Are you going to give me feedback after this?" Honestly, that sounds a bit demanding, doesn't it? It instantly puts the panel on the defensive. But listen to this alternative. Will you be sharing feedback with candidates after the interviews? You achieve the exact same goal, but it is just beautifully softened. It relieves the pressure and acts as a much more polished interview technique, simply by making an indirect inquiry about their plans.
This tense is also absolutely perfect for describing a natural routine. Picture yourself telling a colleague, "Don't send me the test results separately, I'll be going through the shared dashboard before our sync anyway." In this case, you aren't talking about some formal, specific plan you made. You're communicating that going through the dashboard is an inevitable, expected part of the team's normal routine. You aren't doing them a special favor. And notice the word anyway. That's a fantastic signal here. It just shows that this is how things normally work.
Section 2, precision, simple versus continuous.
Now, this is where you get to become the precision engineer. Knowing when to choose between exact moments and ongoing processes is absolutely critical. Consider saying, "We will be deploying at 10 p.m. Honestly, that sounds like a messy, drawn-out, all-night affair. But if you shift that to, "We will deploy the hotfix at 10 p.m., using the future simple, you instantly get this sharp, professional exactness. For single scheduled events that happen at one precise moment and just don't last, you definitely want the future simple.
But listen, here is a massive trap you have to avoid. After time conjunctions like as soon as, once, after, until, or when, the future simple is strictly forbidden. Even though you're literally talking about the future, you must use a present or simple form. You simply cannot say, "Once the bill will pass." No way. It's a strict grammatical rule, and getting it wrong will instantly undercut your professional polish.
Let's actually see this in action. I will send you the report as soon as I finish writing it. Notice it is finish, not will finish, because of that phrase "as soon as." That's a sequential, rule-bound action. But now compare that to this. While the DevOps team will be configuring the environment, the QA analyst will be preparing the test data. Wow. Here, the continuous tense perfectly paints a picture of two parallel coordinated team efforts happening at the exact same time.
Section 3. Intent. Fixed plans versus routines.
As a strategist, you really need to distinguish between deliberate goals and incidental routines. Saying, "I'm presenting the Q3 test results to the board on Thursday," uses the present continuous to show a highly conscious, committed decision. Someone booked a time, they organized a goal. But asking, "Will you be passing by the stationery room on your way back?" uses the future continuous, because it's just an incidental part of a journey. I mean, you wouldn't say, "I'm passing by the stationery room," because it's not a deliberate appointment you made with the staplers.
So why does this matter to a hiring manager? Well, because your choice of tense literally signals your level of deliberate organization. If you say, "I'm planning to introduce a new onboarding process," the present continuous tells the interviewer you are highly organized and fully committed to specific goals. On the flip side, if you say, "I'll be running weekly one-to-ones," the future continuous tells them you understand standard operational flow. It's your ongoing routine. Using both correctly shows you grasp both high-level planning and daily boots-on-the-ground workflow.
Section 4. Outcomes. Future perfect passive.
Welcome to the realm of the visionary. If you want to speak like an executive who is totally focused on high-level results and structural changes, you need the future perfect passive. The structure is will plus have plus been plus the past participle. Okay, yeah, it sounds like a total mouthful, but it is incredibly powerful. It describes an action that will be completed before a specific point in the future, where the subject of the sentence receives the action. It is literally the ultimate way to put the focus purely on the final outcome.
Let's quickly break down who is performing the action here. In the active voice, like, the QA lead will have submitted the release report. The subject does the work. Pretty standard. But as a visionary leader, you often want to highlight massive structural changes. Take this example. All legacy test cases will have been migrated. The test cases don't migrate themselves, right? Someone else does it. But by using that passive structure, you put the spotlight exactly where it belongs, on the completed outcome itself. But again, please avoid this massive trap. Do not say, the junior analysts will have promoted. This is a super common and critical mistake. Junior analysts do not promote themselves. Well, unless they've somehow hacked into the HR system. They received the promotion. To maintain your grammatical accuracy and professional polish, you absolutely must use the passive here. The junior analysts will have been promoted. It shows you understand exactly how actions and outcomes flow within a corporate structure.
Section 5. The model interview answer.
Okay, imagine you are sitting across from the hiring manager. They lean in and ask this classic high-stakes question. If you join us as QA lead, what will the first 3 months look like? Well, we are now going to answer this perfectly, using our newly mastered future tenses. Let's look at how a truly polished candidate structures this timeline. For the first week, they say, I'll be going through existing docs. Notice the future continuous? It shows a natural, non-disruptive routine. They aren't blowing things up on day one. Then, by the end of month 1, I will have assessed full coverage. The future perfect shows a firm, completed outcome. And finally, by the 3-month mark, a revised plan will have been drafted. They beautifully shift into the future perfect passive to highlight visionary structural changes where the process and the result are the real stars of the show.
And just listen to how the model answer closes. My goal is to be a lead who makes the team more predictable and confident, not one who simply adds process for its own sake. Notice how this incredibly confident leadership philosophy is entirely supported by the clear grammatical structure that came right before it. You didn't just claim you were organized and outcome-oriented, your very choice of words proved it, for sure.
So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Think about your next cross-functional sync. Will you be just passing along information, or will you use your language to actively lead the team? Mastering these nuances doesn't just change how you speak, it literally changes how you are perceived. Take these tools, apply them at work today, and watch how the room responds to your new leadership lexicon.